Welcome to our channel. Mets could offer $330 to $340 million deal to Pete Alonso if he decides to make homecoming, report. New York Mets remain interested in re-signing Pete Alonso, despite challenges in meeting salary expectations and previously rejected offers. Insiders believe negotiations may take time and could involve significant financial considerations, with other teams like the Blue Jays not heavily competing. Mets could offer $330 to $340 million deal to Pete Alonso if he decides to make homecoming, report. Mets could offer $330 to $340 million deal to Pete Alonso if he decides to make homecoming, image source, Alonso/IG. Even though New York Mets owner Steve Cohen has made it clear from his side that the team has already moved forward from Pete Alonso, they haven't completely given up. As said in his statement, the Mets are always considering Alonso's re-signing if things get streamlined in the future. MLB Insider sheds light on Pete Alonso's major struggle getting back to Mets. However, even if Pete Alonso decides to come back to the Mets, his signing would not be easy, and there might be a major toll on his salary expectations. MLB insider Andy Martino felt the same in his recent report on Tuesday, in which he claimed that Alonso's salary bracket would shrink to $330 to $340 million. Talking about the same, he said, "We've written this before, but the Mets' stance on Alonso as a player and person has remained consistent. They like him and have wanted him back all along. Now that they have pivoted, bringing Alonso back at a similar 3-year deal with opt-outs to the one he rejected would push them into uncomfortable payroll territory, perhaps the $330 to $340 million range." Apart from Andy Martino, MLB insider Jim Bowden shared the same feeling about Pete Alonso's reunion with the New York Mets. During Thursday's appearance on the Foul Territory, Bowden elaborated on Alonso's contract discussions with the Blue Jays in comparison to the Mets' re-signing. Sharing details into his take, the insider stated, "Is it possible the Blue Jays could sign Alonso and move Guerrero to third? Sure. But my understanding is that they're not in this thing at all. Not that they don't have interest, not that they would consider it if the price is right. But based on kind of the way the Alonso camp is and where Pete wants to go, it doesn't seem to be an option." Moreover, Andy Martino previously reflected back on Pete Alonso's possible return to the team during Monday's appearance on SNY. Martino expressed how the team offered Alonso a hard-to-beat offer, and considering the fact that he already rejected it, there's a least chance for the Blue Jays to match the offer. Detailing into his take, Martino said, "That final offer from the Mets that Alonso turned down is going to be hard to beat for the Blue Jays. That was the $70 million that we talked about for 3 years. Additional deferred money. That could have been a real win in what ultimately the final dollar figure could have looked like. Given what the Blue Jays gave Anthony Santander, which was in the 60s after the deferred money, Alonso is probably not going to get as good an offer from Toronto. I am still getting an expectation that if he comes back it is going to take a while. It easily seems like we can get to spring training, and this is still a topic. And when Pete re-signs, the Mets could already be in camp. There's no reason for the Mets to rush," Martino further added. Talking about Pete Alonso's contract struggles with the Mets, an MLB analyst recently blamed the first baseman for it, and not Steve Cohen.